What is up, YouTube? This is Defcon3 coming at you from somewhere here on Spaceship Earth. I'm in the FJ Cruiser, still waiting to get the tire replaced on my Honda Civic. I had to remember what car that was. I don't have the opportunity until Monday to get to the shop and switch that tire out. So there's a bunch of guards that work close to where I work, and sometimes they do ask me, how do you make so much money? Or I have you guys message me and ask me, how do you make so much money? I won't tell you guys how much I make, but I will tell you that I make about 2.5 to 3 times as much as I did at my last company, that's for sure. And when I say last company, it could be the last one or the one before that or the one before that. I don't ever want to knock any company I work for or commend any company that I currently work for. Honestly, I don't think it's the right thing to do ever, to get on YouTube and to bash anybody you work for. So I always like to keep it vague. Having said that, how do I do it? Well, for starters, I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. I probably don't need to wake up at 5. I could probably wake up at 5:30, but I like to give myself that time to not rush. Right? I make my coffee. I go into another room in our house. We call it our relaxation room, but honestly, there's just a bunch of insects in there, because if you know, I also breed exotic insects and sell them. But that room's always warm because they need to be warm. So I go in there and I drink my coffee and I sit down and I check all the current events. I reflect. As of lately, I've been stretching a little bit, but basically it's kind of me time, and I wake up slowly. I wake up at my own pace. I don't have a clock dictate when I wake up. As a matter of fact, through this whole journey, I rarely need an alarm to wake me up. What wakes me up is my passion. What wakes me up is my determination. And at the end of the day, I know that that's the route I need to take if I want to make it. So I start off my day at 5 o'clock. I drive about an hour and something to get to work. And then I work a 13-hour shift. And I rinse and repeat this process 4 days in a row. It used to be 3, now I'm pushing it 4 days. I might even push it 5 days at some point. But that's how I make more than I did at my last company. It's because I've raised the bar. When I was talking to some guy, he gave me his life story, and he came up with a bunch of excuses of why he failed in life. And really, none of them added up. This was yesterday, actually. Talked to some guy. None of his excuses added up. There is no reason for him to be in a predicament that he's in at this stage of his life. Everything that ever happened bad to him happened to him when he was younger, and he looked like he was in his 50s, and he was perpetuating the same excuses and problems that he had when he was a kid. Well, here, let me let you in a little bit of my life story. I was born and raised in Oakland, California, one of the worst places to live in America as far as murder and lifestyle and housing. I was born in the Acorn Projects, which is, if anybody knows anything, it's a rough place to live. Then I moved to another project called, project is short for ghetto, just so you know. It was called Roachville. It was on 49th Street in Oakland. We called it Roachville because the amount of roaches in that area. Now, moving there wasn't a failure on my parents' part. It was my mom got cancer, and that's basically what had to happen. She worked until she couldn't work anymore. Maybe I'll get into that subject another day, but she basically worked her tail off. Got cancer, couldn't work anymore, required government assistance. She was divorced from my dad. My dad was a little bit over the edge, so I can see why she divorced him. Still a good guy. Still love him, of course. He's my dad. Still keep in contact. But yeah, that was that. Went to a school that was probably 99.9% black because I was the only white kid. Later on down the line, another white kid came in. Does that matter? No, not really. It doesn't matter. But why did I bring it up? Well, it's because I was different. And I think that being different is what made me who I am today. Right? To make it in an environment where you stand out, physically stand out, you definitely have to extend yourself and be different. And yeah, my mom died when I was 12. I found myself on the streets from the age of 12 to probably 16. Never got into drugs, never got into drinking. But it was at that point that I realized, yeah, if I'm going to make it in this world, I'm going to have to be exceptional. I'm going to have to push myself, and I'm going to have to take all the values that my mom taught me and push forward. Well, fast forward quite a few years later, and here I am. I've ran a few successful businesses. I, for lack of words, have failed quite a few businesses. But all in all, I think I've done pretty good. I've been broke quite a few times. I've been what I consider wealthy a few times. And as it currently stands, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. Again, it's because I don't wake up to an alarm clock. I wake up to determination and passion. It's the Defcon3 way, guys. It's the lifestyle. You know, in Western culture, or at least more recently, people always say you're good the way you are. You know, we live in that culture now where everybody gets a trophy. And everybody says, oh, you're good the way you are. You're good the way you are. Try telling that to somebody who's suicidal or who's depressed. I get a lot of you guys that message me on the side, and you're in that predicament. You are suicidal, or you're depressed, or you feel like a failure. Could you imagine me telling somebody who's suicidal, oh, you're good the way you are? No. I tell this person, you're effed up. But you've got 60 years of your life to make it right. Got a long way to go. The journey is long. You're going to encounter a lot of failures. You're going to encounter a lot of roller coaster rides. But at the end of the day, it'll be okay. That's the Defcon3 way, guys. It's that go-get-it attitude. At some point in your life, you're going to have to raise that bar and tell yourself, I can do better. I raised that bar quite a while back. And I don't know exactly when it happened, but I can tell you when it happened was probably at the lowest point in my life. That's usually when people start raising that bar. So if you find yourself right now at that point, if you find that you are not being paid what you need to be paid or getting that respect that you need, maybe today should be the day to raise that bar. Maybe today is the day to adapt the philosophy of Defcon3. And when I say Defcon3, that's just some loose terminology here. I'm, again, for lack of words, it's just a lifestyle that I'm living now. I know my worth. I know my value. I certainly value my time. And I hope you do too. But above all, guys, be safe.